So we're about to gut this kitchen. We've been working in this kitchen for how long? About 15 years?
Yep.
So we've raised 2 boys. We've literally killed this kitchen, used it to its full potential. And
They've killed the kitchen.
They've killed the kitchen, right?
Yeah.
So we're looking forward to actually gutting it today and getting a new kitchen started. So are you excited about this?
No, I'm scared.
No, you're scared? All
I
right.
am. It's emotional and scary because I've had the same thing for 15 years and now it's all going to change. But
Yeah.
I'm excited for the end.
We actually purchased this house. It was going to be a rental, and they put in some really low-grade cabinetry, appliances, and it really hasn't been what you want. So we're going to build your dream kitchen, and we're going to fill it with Highland Cabinetry.
Yep.
We're going to take you through the entire process from start to finish, and let's put together a great kitchen. So this kitchen, I mean, we've had appliances break. We've replaced the appliances a few times. And we've got
This you
holes
can't
in the
even
countertops.
find anymore.
No, we couldn't find that. It's kind of why we actually had to think about redoing the kitchen a little bit, is because these are hard to find in this wider width.
They don't make them.
We're putting in an awesome 48-inch range. We're doing a great big hood. Looking forward to getting this out of here, and I hate that kitchen hole. It has never had the right size refrigerator in it, and
I don't
we
even
throw
know
stuff up
what
there.
could be in there.
Exactly. Well, it's supposed to have a refrigerator and a freezer in it, but it's never fit. So I just can't stand it anymore, and it's got to go. So we've got to get some nice equipment and put it in here. So you ready to get started?
Yeah.
So Dawson, what are we going to do today?
So today we're tearing out this whole kitchen. We're gonna start with the island because we're actually gonna try and save this island for a temporary kitchen in the other room. That's always a good idea when you're redoing your kitchen, is kind of choose what you want to keep and have, because usually the project takes a little longer than you expect, and it's good to have a temporary kitchen that you can still cook in. A lot of the customers take their oven out and put it into another room so they can still cook.
So you want to be able to function as
yeah.
a family and still have some items that you're normally going to use. So
Yeah.
when we went through this kitchen, we kind of took out the best things that we kind of knew we were going to use over the next month,
Yeah.
and the have-to-have items, and we're setting up a little secondary temp kitchen.
It's always a good idea. Yeah. So this comes out first, keep the top and everything together as a countertop space, and then after that, we're just gonna start tearing away. Yeah.
So one of the things we didn't like about this kitchen is this peninsula area. It seems to kind of close off the entire flow. So what we want to do is actually take this completely out, and then we're going to build a nice big island, and then kind of change this area to move the refrigerator over to there, so it has a little bit easier use as far as kind of coming in and out of the house. And we do a lot of entertaining outside, so we're going to completely change the overall layout, and the sink is going to go here. So the only thing we're really not changing is where the location of the cooktop is, and we're going to do a big 48-inch range there.
The design of this kitchen always kind of cut everything off, where that was the only aisle right there, and now commonly in most kitchens people want it open, kind of welcoming to the other room. So now you can actually access this room every which way around the island, and then a big island that we can sit at.
Yeah, and we do a lot of entertaining. We usually have 5 to 10 friends over, and we all kind of hang out in the kitchen like most families do with friends. And we want this to be a nice big open island so that people can kind of pull up to it, watch us cook. And we do some pretty nice cooking, so we'll show you some of that as well.
Usually a lot of people keep their appliances and like sink in the same spot. Since we're taking this wall out, the plumbing does need to change, so you need to account for that. The sink should be here instead, so luckily it's an unfinished basement. It shouldn't be too bad, but it's all just stuff you want to plan for. Where things are moving, a lot of the times people keep them in the same place, like I said, but if you're changing everything, you want to account for that prior to tearing it apart.
Right. So we're planning ahead. We've talked to a lot of the trades. We've ordered the appliances. We've done the initial kind of layout of the cabinetry, and we're going to go in and actually confirm everything, which is a critical step that a lot of people miss. And then we wanted to make sure that we had everybody kind of lined up to get this done. The goal is to have this done in about 3 weeks if we can, and push through, and we're getting ready for the holidays, as usually you're trying to finish things before the holidays, right? But there's been a lot of prep work before we got to this day. It's really kind of going through and figuring out like what obstacles are we going to have. Once we get the demo work done, we're going to go through and start to lay out cabinets and really kind of figure things out. It's again kind of a critical step that a lot of people miss. They do the initial measuring, and then they never go back and confirm things when the demo is done. And being a professional, that's what we want to do, and our dealers will do, is to make sure that you're going in there and double checking everything. The goal is to measure twice and cut once, right? So as custom cabinet makers, that's something we've always talked about doing. So take that second step and make sure that you've done a great field verification of that drawing.
Especially when you have all these trades lined up right after each other. If one thing goes wrong, everything gets pushed. And with people with tight schedules, they may be out a month. Like they plan for your
It's a
job.
snowball event,
Yeah.
right? You start kicking things out and it just starts to kind of snowball and the project goes a little awry. So the idea is to plan through it and make sure that you take the time and lay everything out so everybody knows what they're going to do. And we're going to do a project list and line out. We've got electricians showing up on Tuesday. We have the plumber showing up this weekend to kind of look at everything. I asked them all to come ahead of time and make sure that they have an understanding of what they're going to do and have the appropriate parts as well. So again, it's that planning and that's confirmation of what we're going to do that makes the project go a little smoother. So one of the goals that we wanted to have is to be able to sell and save some of this cabinetry as well as sell the appliances. So we're going to be a little careful taking everything out. Luckily, Dawson is pretty good at taking care of stuff as he's pulling things out and doing demo day. So we're going to list these on Facebook so we can recoup some of the money. My goal is to hopefully pay for about half of our appliances with the sale of our old appliances and the cabinet. So we're going to try to see if we can pull that up. Things you can't save likely are like sink cabinets that have water damage.
Yep.
And then some things might get broken during the demo. We're going to try to be careful, but it's likely something might break. So know that that's the case, but we're going to list these on Facebook and Craigslist and try to see if we can recoup some of the money.
Another thing you want to take into account with your installer is cabinet installers like myself, we typically don't want to touch appliances. It's a big liability. So if you're trying to save your appliances, it's good to have an appliance company come out and remove them or remove them yourself. Sometimes we'll pull them out, but it's...
Depends on your installer.
Yeah.
So I typically, as an installer, wouldn't touch the appliances. They're pretty heavy. You need a couple of guys, especially in like a double oven like this. This probably weighs 300-400 pounds. Luckily, we're two big guys and he's going to help me. As you know, Dawson is my son, so give me a little bit extra on this job. So hopefully we can get that done.
Before your demo, you need to take into account your flooring. If you have new flooring and you want to keep it safe, your installer will normally put down protective cardboard on it. With this flooring, a lot of it's getting ripped up, and then after they're redoing all of it, so we don't need to do that. With the island, the first step is to see how the island was installed. So if you have a pretty thick island, it's likely they built a wall and then screwed the cabinets to the wall. Since this island is just the cabinets, it's 24 inches wide, so that's how you know it's just the cabinets. It's likely they screwed through the toe into the floor. First things first, you would take all the trim off and then find those screws, pull them. If you weren't saving the island, I would say take the top off and then go cabinet by cabinet, but since we are saving the island, I will pull off all the trim, try and keep everything as one unit. I'll likely have to brace it to move it, but yeah, just pull off trim, find how it's connected and go from there.